What is the absolute worst way to break up with someone? My ex broke up with me by changing his Facebook profile picture to him in bed with someone else. Then later texting me to confirm it was over. What a dickhead. Leaving them a message on their machine on their birthday. Classic schmosby. My first ex-boyfriend broke up with me by moving out and not telling me. I got home from work and was excited at first, thinking that he had cleaned up. Turns out that it was just that all his stuff was gone. No note. Nothing. In high school I had a friend who broke with his girlfriend in the worst way I could imagine. He picked her up and brought her back to his house. F-ked her. And then dumped her. He didn't want to see her or give her a ride home. So he threw her out of his house and she had to walk home. 3-4 miles. Down residential streets. Sobbing the whole way. What an asshole. In the doctor's surgery when the doctor tells you that you are a viable kidney donor for your wife. Having wake up sex. Then going to work. Then coming home to find all traces of her stuff gone from my house and a Dear John letter. Then finding out she had married a man 32 years older than her that afternoon because she was broke and her credit card had been revoked. Then getting screaming phone calls from various relatives of hers and getting stalked and getting suicide letters from her for the next 10 months. This is generally a bad method to break up with someone. Don't use it. Ghosting. Honestly, the worst way is still by cheating. Most other stuff is just bad timing or poor communication. While cheating is a gut-wrenching betrayal. Seriously. Just break up with someone before you nail someone else. You and me are done iron rings. About 2 years ago I was with a girl whom I liked a lot. It's about 2 months in and she suffers a concussion from playing rugby and the next day she totally forgets everything. She thought I was a girl when I texted her because my name was Brie as her contact. As time goes on we are hanging and trying to make it work only for her to start getting with my best friend at the time. This is one stung the most and on Canada Day she used me to get with him again. Fast forward to now and she's a heavy drug user and is borderline unstable. It's truly tragic in my eyes. My ex left me on the 1st of April. That was kinda weird. I goosed. You race me. I'm leaving you. April Fools? No. Just straight disappear from their life in some way, shape or form. Leaving them a message on MySpace. Because they'll never know? I had a co-worker I was sorta kinda starting to date. One morning 2 or 3 of our mutual friends came over right as my shift started and congratulated me. Because they saw that she was wearing an engagement ring. It wasn't the best way to find out. She went back to her ex. Set up an elaborate week-long scavenger hunt that led them through a series of locations that were significant in your relationship. The last location being an upper-class restaurant. When they reach the restaurant their Father Out song is playing. They are escorted to a table covered in flower petals. On that table they find a cheap cell phone. You text that phone telling them it's over. Barbershop quartet. Jazz hands. Meter intensifies. During sex. Say you want to take some time off or go on a break because you don't have the balls to just pull the trigger and go full breakup. Immediately start dating someone else. And for the most part ignore the time off person for 6-8 months. Then, when the time off person finally moves on enough to function and starts dating someone themselves, lose your mind because your back burner plan blew up in your face. We were on a break. Make her wait a month to see you. Decide it's not going to work. Send text message stream telling her so. Even though she's celebrating a family birthday and has asked you to put off a serious conversation till she can be free of said engagement. Break up with her via text while she's eating cake. On the day before you have a long planned date for the 14th of February. I shaved my legs for that tea. She went overseas for a job. First time I flew here for a weekend together. She told me she was not going well and needed some time to think about what she wanted to do with her life. She told me a few days later to cancel my other flight since she needed time alone with her depression striking back. She stopped answering my phone calls, mails, letters. After 2 months of this silent treatment, I booked a flight and a hotel room to meet her and have a necessary discussion about our relationship. Upon arriving in the city, I crossed a bicycling couple on my way to the hotel. As they passed near me, I recognized her, staring blankly at the road ahead. I called her name. She did not acknowledge my presence, said something to the guy, and they accelerated to distance me. Of course, it had to start raining at this point. And 1 year later, she sent me an email to tell me she was sorry. Tell them I don't want to be in a relationship and then start dating some trashy SLT immediately after the fact. And stay with her for 2 years. Not that I know anything about that. I've been both you and the trashy SLT. The shittiest part of being the trashy SLT, though, is when you honestly are not aware that you are the trashy SLT. You met a guy. He seemed great. He asks you out. You're happy. And everyone hates you. It's not until much later you find out that they think you are some evil home-wrecking bitch who enjoys destroying relationships and crushing poor girls' hearts. Oftentimes the worst way when someone breaks up with you is when you are at your best rather than during your worst. I can attest to this. Happened when I was what I thought was the most confident version of myself. Found a girl I really liked and put myself out there for with no hesitation. When the breakup eventually did happen, it messes with you more, thinking if someone can't like you at your best, will anyone? Force them to perform a sex act they don't want and tell them if they aren't willing to perform then it's over. Edit. Having read the rest of the thread, this one isn't something that I was involved in on either side. Just answering with the first thing that came to mind to the ups question. Force them to perform a sex act they don't want. That sounds a lot like rape.